Probably asking, Dillon, I thought you lived in Texas. Isn't it supposed to be warm there? What are you doing in that silly ass coat? You look like you dress like SpongeBob, man. What are you doing? Well, it gets cold here sometimes. You see my breath out here. That's rare in Texas. It's like 19 degrees. My mom said, you should go look at your truck. It's snowing. And dude, I got excited. I thought I was gonna be able to build a snowman. Y'all wanna see the snow? Oh dude, can you not? Okay, you can see it a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it'll snow a little more. You can see there's a little bit. Maybe it's not even, I don't even know if like I would more call them like little piece of it's like you guys ever had Dippin' Dots? And Dippin' Dots are falling from the sky today in Texas. It's a little crazy. You're probably also asking me, Dillon, why are you in your driveway at 2 a.m. in 19-degree weather wearing a ski coat? Well, it's like so quiet out here. You guys seen the Polar Express? I feel like I'm in that movie right now. Like I feel like a train is about to come pick me up, take me to the North Pole. I mean, it just feels so surreal out here right now. Like I'm not even focused on the fact that I'm cold. I'm focused on the fact that like it's so quiet. I used to always say this, but I always feel like it sounds different when it's colder outside. And I feel like there's some truth to that. I think there's like a scientific reasoning behind it. But I feel like when it's cold outside, especially if you live somewhere it snows, I feel like it's quieter. If you live somewhere where it snows, well, the snow kind of absorbs sound. But even if you live somewhere like Texas, I feel like sound waves just move differently through different temperatures. That's just a hypothesis, though. I'm no scientist, even though science was my favorite subject in high school. I freaking killed it in chemistry and math. See, I always hated school, but I was good at school. So what would happen is Dillon would have like 60s in like 4 classes, and my parents would be like, what the fuck? Come on, dude. No phone, no this until you get your grade. And then like 3 days later, I'd pull up my grade book and be like, look, all A's and B's. And they're like, how did you? I'm like, light work. What I would do is basically like I knew I was good at school. So I also knew like it wouldn't take me long to do any of the work if I actually like applied myself. So every time I needed to get my grades up, I'd be like, all right, Dillon, just take a couple hours, lock in, do these assignments. And then I'd turn them in, and then I was nice. My teachers liked me. So I'd turn in late work, and they'd be like, oh, thank you, Dillon. A little ironic. Don't try it out with every teacher, though. It didn't always work for me. Sometimes I did have to actually turn in my work on time, believe it or not. But that's kind of what Dillon did in high school. Now, I know I talk about how like I don't go to college. I'm not saying college is bad. If you want to be a doctor, lawyer, something that actually requires college, then I'd go for it. But don't think that it's your only option, you know? Don't. Remember to survey other possibilities. Especially if you're somebody about to graduate high school. I know you've been trapped in that little box for 12 years. Learning the periodic table, how to solve for X, how to write essays. Now the counselor is asking you what you want to do for the rest of your life. And you're like, I don't know. All I know is a periodic table, how to solve for X, and how to write essays. And I don't think I want to do any of those things for the rest of my life. At least I didn't. So I was like, what do you do? Well, people talk about taking like a year off before they start college. I think that's a good idea, but I also think it depends on how you spend the year. If you're taking a year off just to bullshit, bed rot, then you might as well just take a year off your life. You're just wasting a year. But if you take a year and every day you're like, I'm doing this, I'm trying this is fun, I've been liking this, we're gonna keep doing this. And next thing you know, when the year's over, you might have built an empire of something that you love, even if it's just for yourself. Maybe you were like, you know what, maybe you're trying to be a botanist, you have a green thumb, you like plants. By the end of the year, your garden could be flourishing, But if you're somebody who's taking a year off just to bullshit inside, play video games, your garden's never gonna grow. Nothing's ever gonna grow. It's gonna be the same thing every day until you do something else. And another problem with, I saw that cat. Another problem with taking one of those years off like that, not spending it wisely, is that you get a flashback to reality when somebody tells you, hey, get out of my house or go to college. When you finally lock in and go back to college, you haven't been doing anything for a year. And if you were really just slacking off the whole year, you haven't been using your brain a lot. I'm gonna be real, Like, I know in school they teach you, we all know the stuff they teach you in school, you're probably never gonna use. Nobody's ever asked me anything about the periodic table. Nobody's ever walked up to me with an equation. I've never walked into Starbucks and they said, all right, sir, just solve for X and I'll hand you your drink. It's never happened. We all know that we're not going to use the information. But remember this, it's not about what they're teaching you. It's more about learning it. It's more about just using your brain. Your brain is a muscle. The more you use it, it will get stronger. Like when you're solving for X, you don't realize it, but you're practicing your logical thinking skills. Now, I wish schools would teach it in a better way other than algebra, because that shit's boring as fuck. But for some reason, that's the way they have it. So just remember, you might not like chemistry, English class, or algebra, but you might know that the stuff they're teaching you, you're never going to use it in real life. So you're kind of sitting there and you're like, why should I even try? Especially if you're somebody who maybe doesn't plan to go to college. It's like, why should I even try? Why not just chill out in this classroom and just wait out these years? Well, I hear you. But remember, it's not about learning algebra. It's not about learning how to write essays. It's not about learning science. It's about learning how to learn. It's about just being able to use your brain. Have you ever, in a high school day, you got 7 classes. You ever had a day so busy where it's not like a headache, it's not like a pain, but you just feel like your brain needs a rest. You just feel tired of thinking. Go out and do find a hobby that gives you that same experience. You know, it might repulse you because in school, it's all those things you don't want to think about. All the subjects they teach you, you probably might not be interested. You might be interested in a couple, but as a whole, you're probably like, man, I don't want to go to school because you're going to make me do this, this, and this, and learn this, and make me do it this specific way. But once you graduate, there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. So go out there, find that thing that allows you to use your mind, think creatively, logically. That's why I like skating so much. Because my brain is constantly using logic. Okay, I need to stop here. This is in front of me. There's a person right there. I need to do this, go left. And the creative side of me is also going because I'm also trying to think of new tricks to do. And the funny thing is a lot of what Dillon knows in skating, I would say I learned on accident, just by trying new things that I've never done before, even if it's simple. I've like just done like the weirdest things and then it turned into some cool stop, you know. So even if it's small, it could actually be the next big thing. But Dillon's getting pretty cold, so I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.